Yo, what up, Colin?
25.
Episode 25, Heckin' Cool Dads, and we have another guest who I can't call you Keto Beth.
No.
Because I already did that to Kyle.
You can call me Fun Size Bettina.
Fun Size Bettina.
That's right.
Two things.
Or you can call me Shweezy like you always do.
I always called her Shweezy because her maiden name at the end, it started with a sh. So I don't know why I did that, but that's what I did. What are we drinking, Colin?
Tecate. Tecate original, baby.
Not Beth.
Except for
nope,
this.
not me.
So Kyle played along at least. He's keto
Yeah.
Kyle. He played along. We got the White Claws.
Right.
You're keeping it legit with the
Zevia.
Zevia. What is Zevia?
So it kind of tastes like flat Pepsi, which if you drink
Already
sugar
don't like
all
it.
the time, you wouldn't like it. When you stop eating and drinking sugar, your taste buds change. So this tastes sweet to me now.
I was actually just talking to Kyle on the way here. I was asking him for advice on Xbox and stuff like that because my kid is desperately wanting an Xbox. So I'm like, let me go to the authority source, which is Kyle. And I could tell he had me on speakerphone, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's making keto pizza crust, which
Yes.
I learned is just cheese.
Not necessarily. I actually have a recipe that's cauliflower. And it does not taste like cauliflower crust, though.
Well, see, that's the only...
He's making the fathead dough, which, that is cheese.
Well, this shit was cheese. I don't know. It's got me intrigued. But I was telling him, I can't understand how he can just not eat the things that I'm eating. Because this shit is so good. Like, I just love food. Love it. And I'll eat healthy for like 2 days. And then I just want to eat bad. And I can't imagine not just eating bad whenever the fuck I want.
You get used to it.
Yeah,
Because I feel like
said.
complete shit when I eat that stuff now. It's just not worth it. So let me give you a little quick story about what happened to me last time I ate carby food. I woke up at 2:30 in the morning with heart palpitations. So anything I can do to avoid that is good.
Well, you had a whole bunch of health stuff. Didn't this
Yes.
remedy a bunch of health stuff?
Absolutely. I was being treated for rheumatoid arthritis, which is some pretty crazy shit. I got diagnosed at age 33, and turns out I didn't need to do any of that. But for 4 years, I took medication, 6 meds a day. It was crazy. So then I just stopped eating wheat and the processed sugar, and all of my symptoms went away.
Can't do it.
Can't do it either.
I cannot do it. You said flat Pepsi, and it just sounds gross. I don't even like. I honestly, regular Pepsi though is like too sugary for me.
I just went on a business trip with one of my team members, and she celiac, and so she's like at every restaurant. It's like, do you have a gluten-free menu? And she's like, well, it always makes it really easy because there's like 3 things to choose from.
Like, we can put all that same stuff onto lettuce.
But it just seems horrible.
Like, what do you want? I have lots of sandwiches that I would be glad to put on lettuce. I see people do that too. They do the lettuce wrap or whatever.
But so you're telling me though, because I can understand not eating certain things that you love, but what if you just eat meat all day? Wouldn't that be awesome?
No, that is awesome. Dude.
So you could do it.
Nick.
I eat a lot of Sour Patch Kids. So that's the problem.
We have a candy table at work.
I can't help you there.
I have a friend named Nick who does, I don't even know what it's called. What's it called where they like, it's not boiling the meat, but it's like keeping the meat at 300 something degrees. Sous vide or what the fuck is it?
Oh, sous vide, I think.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's like
I've heard
some kind
that,
of, it's
I
a
don't know
way
what
to
it
like
is.
prepare meat where people that do it get mad if you say boiling the meat because you never bring the water to a boil, but you have the water at a like 300 and something degree temperature for X amount of time and you submerge the meat in a bag. Are you kidding me? Like you're the cooking guy. I thought for sure you were gonna.
That does not sound appetizing.
It doesn't, but apparently it produces like the most tender, perfect meat ever.
Oh, I'd call bullshit on that.
I have 2 friends. One, Nick, who I'm pretty sure the dude only eats meat. Like I think he's
a carnivore.
Yes.
Yes.
And then my buddy Brian, who I don't know why there's so many like keto things coming up this past, but Brian lost like, oh God, a whole human. He lost like 280 pounds or something.
Damn.
And was on, what show was he on? Like Good Morning America or something? They had him on there and he proposed to his maybe now wife. I don't know if they're married yet. He on there. Well, he does the same thing. He'll like do that and get the meat all cooked through and then takes it and sears it like right at the end. And he's he was the first person I literally ever heard say the words keto. and then he lost like again a whole human, and he might be well over 200 pounds lost, maybe like 3 something. I'll have to show you his Instagram after we get off here.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So talked a whole bunch of shit last time, and I still had a whole list of shit, so I did no preparation for this one. But I know that you have a phone story, Colin, because I saw on Instagram, or not Instagram, I saw on Facebook you were asking people for phones.
Oh man, so today has not been ideal because I spent 4 hours yesterday afternoon replacing the radiator and water pump on my Jeep, and was like super stoked about it. And then I'll get there. I'll get to the phone story.
Well, not that. No, I was looking because I could have swore you already did that. You did something else with your Jeep and heat.
Yeah,
something.
I replaced the thermostat, but then my radiator blew. So the thermostat wasn't the problem. I think it was the water pump was not moving coolant through the way it should. The radiator blew out, so I replaced the radiator and water pump yesterday. And I was feeling good about it. Like, it wasn't as hard as we thought, and all that stuff got it together. And then, but I wanted to let some of the Loctite stuff on one of the screws or one of the bolts dry. So I put coolant in this morning and fired it up to get it up to operating temperature to make sure there was no leaks, and like the entire gasket of the water pump is leaking. So that means I have to take the fan out again. I have to take the serpentine belt off again, and I have to make sure either that's just needs to be tightened down better, or I need to replace the gasket on it. So it's nothing like catastrophic. It's just got to pull it all apart again to fix something. So that was like number one. So then right when this happened, I went inside to look for my phone because I was going to text my buddy Chris to tell him that it was leaking, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I'm, just tearing the house apart. And I grabbed Sierra's phone and I started calling it, and I can hear it. I can hear it ringing. I called it like 5 or 6 times, and I can hear it, and I'm like, it's in the kitchen. It's not outside. It's not in the living room. It's not it's in the kitchen. I can hear it in the kitchen. Where the fuck is it? And I'm like, I bend down, and as I bend past the sink, it gets louder. And I'm like, what? And I look, and we had made waffles, and there was like the batter bowl I had filled with hot water and soap to let it soak.
Oh my God.
And I it's ringing, and I put my ear next to the bowl. It was on the windowsill and fell off into the bowl, but I had been outside working on my Jeep for half an hour.
Oh my God.
And I pull it out, and it's ringing. And I wipe it off, and I look at it, and I take the case off, and I kept a pretty good seal. There was barely any water in the case.
Yeah.
And I'm like messing with it. I'm turning the volume up and down. I'm turning it off. I'm doing stuff, and everything's fine. It's working totally fine.
Oh my God.
You turned it off and back on?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was just on, and
good.
And it was fine. Everything was fine. Had no issues. And I was like, just thinking, I was like, this is amazing. I can't believe this. This is a wild story. So then I was like, I got on the Trello thing and typed on all caps, Colin phone story, like I'm a fucking baby boomer or some shit. Yeah. And because I was like, this is amazing. This is my iPhone 10 was submerged in pancake batter soap water for half an hour and still works just fine.
Well, they are rated for that.
I know.
It's like 1 meter for 30 minutes at least.
But 15 minutes later, it restarts itself and then gets it into an infinite restart loop. Okay. So I'm like, shit. And then it was like, okay, you have to put it in recovery mode and you have to restore it. So I did that, and I restored it, and then it was still in the loop. So I was like, shit, okay, well, I put it in a bowl of rice, and then put my iMessage on an iPad we had sitting around at least so people could get a hold of me. And Sierra had to get a new phone anyway, so she ordered a new phone, and she was going to do it for pick up in store today, and she was just going to give me her iPhone 8, and I'm fine with that. That's whatever. And so it sat all afternoon, but then I thought, I'll just try fire it up. And I turned it on, and it wasn't restarting anymore, but it needed battery power, so I plug it in, turns on, and then I go to restore it from iCloud backup, and it says you have no iCloud backups, and I'm like, oh, cool. So any photo, video, app I downloaded, anything like that since February is now gone forever.
Isn't it linked to your MacBook, and doesn't it auto download all that shit on all your devices?
I thought so, but I guess I didn't have it set up right. Again.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to turn that feature on.
Real baby boomer shit over here, dude.
Yeah, you're killing me.
Good job, Karen.
So.
Ooh.
So I basically got a new phone today.
Nice.
But the funniest part is the camera.
Does it still have like water in it? Water spots or something?
Oh,
It's all
God.
Everything is soft focus.
that's great.
Oh man, it's too good.
So when I first switched away from iPhones, it was for the Galaxy S5. And that was one of the big features of the S5 back then. Long before iPhone was doing it, like the Samsungs were IP65, which is like, again, it's like 1 meter for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I ran, and I keep my phone in my back pocket a lot. I ran, it fell out, it fell in the snow, and it was in the snow for, I don't know, 5-6 hours, and found it, and it worked fine. Nothing. They have a feature on the Samsungs, and I'm assuming the iPhone has too. I don't know. I'm thinking any phone that has waterproofing or water resistance has it. It will play a series of tones that are specially, like, sonically designed to push water out of the ports.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
I know it does that. The Apple Watch was the first thing they released that did that. But my guess is that I would have had less of a problem had I not called it 5 times, because I think the speakers vibrating really loud, I think, was breaking that seal. You know what I mean? That's my guess.
not the fall from the window.
No, because it must have just been like bloop. You know what I mean? But it was hilarious that the funniest thing to me was that it could still hear it ringing in the bowl of water.
Yeah.
But
So I have a buddy named VJ who is a big Samsung guy, and when he bought his first waterproof phone, quite literally the first thing he did was submerge it in a bowl of water and call it. He's like, I'm gonna test this. What's the worst that can happen? It fails and I just take it back and tell him their shit's bullshit. Go for it. And he did it. He called it and was like using his finger to like text and swipe text. I was like, you're brave. I'm not that brave with $1,000 device.
No way.
Supposedly, according to my buddy Chris, there is a 12-month grace period, which I don't believe, because I always thought it was 90 days if you didn't get Apple Care. But I'm going to take it to the Apple Store and just see if they will swap it out. I don't think they will.
Well, okay.
Worth a shot.
So there's on the inside of the phones, there's a little...
The pink thing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That tells them if it was exposed to water or not. So that's how they get you.
Yeah.
You said something about like a baby boomer, right? Which that's number one, that's my mom. Like she does, I argue with her every time I get around her because she refuses to do anything new, right? But one thing that baby boomers do that I run into all the time is I will get a friend request, and then like a day later, I get another friend request. They keep creating different accounts.
You know why?
No.
They forgot their password.
And
they create a brand new
know
profile.
that they realize they're creating an account. I have,
Yeah.
Okay, so Amy's uncle is like the biggest offender of this. I've at least 30 different friend requests, 30 different accounts.
Oh my God.
So like I just leave them in my like, I don't decline them. I don't do anything. And it's just like, there's probably 20 of them in there still. And it's always this photo.
Yep.
From like down here, like the chin up shot with he can't really see the phone, so he's looking like this.
It's better than the bathroom shot.
What bathroom shot?
You've seen those, right? People take their profile photos standing in their bathroom.
In the bathroom mirror.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
I love the people that take the photo in the mirror and unintentionally get something raunchy as fuck in the background.
Yes.
There's an entire Reddit thread for that.
Yep.
Or like the ones where like some woman's trying to take like a really sexy booty shot, but then there's like a 4-year-old standing there taking the picture.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
You catch it, the reflection, the little kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, my dad has done that. That's how I know that they've forgotten their password, and that's why they're creating a new profile.
Man,
my
what the fuck? There's a fucking link that says forgot password.
My dad has also gotten duped by the Nigerian princess scam multiple times. So
we talked about that.
Yeah.
So we didn't really introduce you. So what's your deal?
That's what I was getting ready to say.
What's your deal? What's
my deal? Well, Jeff and I go way, way back.
Yeah.
When was it? 2007, probably, that we met.
Yeah, probably 6 or 7. Worked for the same company. Just like all companies, everybody goes out and like you grab happy hours together, or like somebody in the area has a band, and everybody goes to see their coworkers' band and stuff like that. It probably started there.
So just coworkers became friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jeff's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we actually lived relatively close. For a while there.
I think most of us that work at that company, we kind of live in that vicinity, especially at that age, being mid-20s and that kind of thing. Yep. Everybody lived in that area, so we always used to hang out together. Remember we took a trip to Chicago one time? Yeah,
I said that. I said that at some point. Do you remember me talking about going to medieval times?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was literally, like, we had a long weekend, and we're like, let's take an extra day or two, and, like, 10 people from the department and their significant others and stuff, just like we all just went to Chicago for literally no reason. It was the first time I'd ever been to Chicago. It's pretty fucking tight.
Yeah, it was great. So yeah, we just stayed friends throughout the years.
So everyone that comes on here, I realize everybody has something, like some kind of cool story, right? And I don't fully remember the details of this story, only because I have known you for quite some time now. But I know there's some kind of connection between a studio or your basement or something and Shawshank, right?
Yes. So my dad's a musician.
Shawshank Redemption?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Just making sure Colin caught up with us over there.
So my dad's a musician. He knows other musicians since the time he was a teenager. And so he and his friend Ken, we lived in Ashland area, and they both used to do a lot of music together. So they just figured Ken's house had room for a basement studio, so they built it together and spent a lot of hours in my childhood in that basement. And so the time that Shawshank Redemption was filmed, it was in Mansfield, which is very close to Ashland. Mm-hmm. And they were, I guess the production crew was looking for a studio where they could do some voiceovers for Morgan Freeman. The only studio in that area was that basement.
Crazy.
So that's where
that
he
tight?
did that. Yep.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
And then your dad still plays music, doesn't he?
Not anymore. He had to retire a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, I knew.
He's in pretty poor health right now, which is hence the Nigerian princess. So yeah. No, it's cool though. I mean, he's taken his own path right now, so not playing music anymore. But that was a nice little connection to Shawshank there. And actually, my grandpa used to teach at that prison back in the 60s, and the whole reason he had to stop teaching there was because somebody tried to kill him.
Oh, shit.
He was defending himself, elbowed the guy in the head, cracked his head open, died, and he's like, I can't do this anymore, so
that's fucking
I'm
crazy.
out.
Yeah, I mean, my mom worked in laundry. That's it. Like, I don't have any cool fucking stories about how my mom housed some dude and like cracked his head open or nothing.
My mom worked customer service at Kohl's.
Yeah, and your dad's like a dope designer, and meanwhile it's like my mom worked laundry and I don't know my dad. So what's it like to have cool parents, guys?
Oh wait, hey, no. Parents being cool, that's a different story. You know, we definitely, I have a very non-traditional family, if you could put it that way.
I think we all do across the board here.
Yeah. So I can't, my mom's cool.
His brothers are mobsters.
Right, I know.
That's what I hear.
Those stories.
That's what I hear from Colin.
They fascinate me.
No, I talked to my one brother, the guy that lives in Florida. I talked to him on the phone for about an hour, a couple days ago, and he's like, "Hey, have you heard from Mom?" Okay, I pay for Mom's cell phone, but it's always in her purse, so you can't really call it. You're not gonna get her. And if you call the house phone, I just expect her to answer. And if she doesn't, I'm like, well, what the hell could she be doing? Like, she'll call me back. Well, he hasn't heard from her in like a couple weeks. So he's like, hey, have you heard from Mom? I'm thinking about doing a wellness check.
Right.
And I said, she will fucking kill you. Like, my other brother tried to get her one of those like necklaces to like help her.
Oh, the life alert?
Yeah, like I fall on it. Yeah. So, okay, so let me back up. My brother lives with his wife and his mother-in-law. Mother-in-law is not in the best health. So he bought her one and was like, hey, you got like, bad hips and shit like that. And like, you just need it. I'm going to buy one for Mom too. Dude, she like lost her shit. She was on an absolute no, don't you try. And I don't know. Like, my mom is, for as stubborn as I am, she is far more stubborn than I am. Far. And I think I mentioned earlier, like, she won't do anything new. I remember the only time I've ever gotten her to use her debit card. We were at Target on the west side, which doesn't exist anymore.
No,
it
doesn't. Nope.
Yeah. And I was supposed to take her to the bank to get money. We get a whole belt full of shit. They're ringing it up. And she goes, oh, God, we're going to have to put all this back. I forgot to stop at the bank.
Oh, God.
And I said, the fuck we are. Like, take your card and put it in that damn machine. Or actually, this time it was swipe it. Swipe your damn card. She's like, I don't know how to do any of that. And I said, you know how to use a credit card. I'm not using a credit card. I know. It's the same principle. It has a Visa logo on it. Like, just swipe the thing. Got her to do it. And that was quite literally the only time. She acted like it was fucking rocket science. You know, she goes, well, how am I supposed to record that? And I was like, just put the same number in your ledger like if it were a check.
Yeah.
Down to the cents. Just put it in there. Dude.
Or it's like, or sign up for a mobile account.
Oh, my God. Not a fucking chance. I got her to sign up for online banking so that she could log on and, you know, pull statements or see when her, like, retirement money hits and stuff like that. And she logs on that thing once a month to make sure that her deposit's in there and then logs off. I'm like, you know that thing keeps track of everything. Like, you don't have to write it all down anymore. Nah, not my mom.
I'm laughing because this is so similar to, yeah. Oh.
You're internally laughing.
I've seen this and I've heard this so many times before. Oh, boy.
And I fear, because she's a lifelong smoker, I fear that she's got some health shit. And she's also, I mean, she was born in 47. So my mom is...
Really?
Yeah, she is no spring chicken anymore, right? But she's also not a driver, so she's walked everywhere for life. So she's in relatively decent cardio for somebody in their 70s, right? But I'm pretty confident that she's got some underlying health shit, and she just refuses to go get it checked out. That's the big difference. Like you have some people that are desperate and will do anything to.
I tried.
You did try. Or desperate to find out what's wrong with them, and they'll try anything.
Yeah.
And then you got other people that are just completely fine, living ignorance is bliss. They want nothing. And like when she's like coughing and stuff, I'm like, that's that smoker's cough. That could also be something else. COPD or emphysema or fucking cancer, right?
Yeah.
And I always go like, Mom, just go get a checkup. Mom, get a checkup. You're in your 70s. Like, I literally don't remember my mom ever getting a checkup.
It's crazy. It is crazy, though, to think that, you know, you're the youngest. Mm-hmm. I'm the oldest. But there is that just... I mean, my parents are seemingly fine right now, but, you know, it's just I'm getting to that age where I have to start thinking about, like, reminding my parents, hey, have you seen the doctor recently? You know what I mean? You know,
do they
like,
go?
I think... You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just now starting to get to that point where I'm starting to put my nose into that stuff because I also, you know.
Do you do a good job of seeing the doctor yourself?
No.
Yeah, me either.
No.
I mean, it's totally a pot calling the kettle black situation. Like, I'm like, fuck no, doctor. Why would I go do that? If I'm not like hanging on by a thread, thinking I'm dying, like I'm not going to the doctor. That's just how I live.
The only thing I do pretty regularly. And it's even saying that it's been 3 months now, but just seeing a therapist.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like
perfect.
I need to at least talk to somebody.
Yes, yes. I'm a big believer in therapy. That was actually what helped me to get my shit together because I was, man, I had some family issues going on that was really playing into my own mental health. But then I had some bad relationships, one after the other, and I really had to say, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
So I went to talk to somebody. I still go to see her, even though. I think I'm pretty good. The cognitive behavioral therapy works at the point when you're like, oh, I can solve my own problems now. But I just love talking to her. She's so cool.
Yeah, and you know, we're trying to foster, because my son sees a therapist too, and we're trying to just foster an atmosphere in our house that it's like, it's okay if you need to just talk to somebody that's not us.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes that's
we
better.
do the same thing.
I mean, there are so many things I would not want to tell my siblings or my parents, but I can easily tell a third party that's not going to be judging me or anything like that.
And honestly, I think everybody should do it, even though I sit here and say that, but I haven't done it. But as of lately, I have been feeling like it would be nice to tell somebody who I have no like personal connection with otherwise, that I feel like is not, you know, wouldn't be judgmental or something like that.
There's a Lewis Center branch of the place that we go.
You trying to get a referral credit or something?
I'm not trying to give shit, man. I'm just
you get fucking points or something?
No, I'm just telling you. Providersforhealthyliving.com.
This video is sponsored by
Wait till you get outside and see that my car's wrapped. It's got a wrap.
Did you know that if you link up, there's people you can link up with, and if you do, they will pay your car payment just to roll around with a wrap on it.
I know.
And then when that's just paid off, you just peel that fucking wrap off. That's crazy. I know a guy that had a brand new like Jeep, like a Rubicon, which I mean they're like fucking 50 or 60 grand.
Yeah.
And he was getting his car payment from this gym, and they just wrapped his Jeep, and he's like, fuck it, I'll drive around this brand new wrapped car for free. That's crazy.
For 5 years.
Yeah.
It's not a bad
Shit. I'm doing a 36 months. But talking about like health and how some people will do anything. So I was always fascinated by shows like House, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole diagnostic. Did you ever watch House, Colin? You're fucking me up right now. I cannot believe you didn't watch House.
That's a great show.
You know, the guy bugged me, but go ahead.
Well, that's kind of the point of his character.
Yeah, that was
he's supposed to annoy
the
people.
Antagonist.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was always like, I thought those were very interesting because it sounded very legit. I mean, to somebody who doesn't know anything about shit, like it sounded super real.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell that whoever the correspondents they were working with were obviously medical people. It sounded cool. And I thought like, damn, do things like that really exist? Like these diagnostic centers that just take the cases that fucking nobody else can solve. And not only do they exist, but the person they had on there as like a correspondent runs this one. And I saw a documentary on like Netflix or something the other day about essentially crowdsourcing medical diagnosis. And so you upload all of your shit, and this like whole community of like medical professionals will just ideate on your shit and like try and figure out what's wrong with you.
So it's like Waze for health.
In a way, yeah. It's fucking crazy. There's one called CrowdMed, and you upload your shit to it. And I say this because my wife has been experiencing like a lot of random medical stuff, and it doesn't fall into one box for anything. Like all of her, and I mean, she spent like a lot of time, effort, money trying to figure out what exactly is wrong, and then out of nowhere, like her symptoms just kind of went away, and then they slowly started coming back. And it's like it's shit that's like it's not good stuff. And so she's trying to figure out what's wrong, and they're like, oh, you have certain people that wanted to say, oh, it's this, or this, it's all in your head, or it's definitely this, and none of the stuff is aligning. It's nothing's 100%.
That's what I experienced too, which is why it's so crazy that I've been able to bring myself out of that because
people get stuck in that for years.
Yes, and so did I, because I went to several doctors and I said, I've got this heaviness in my legs every day. I can't run anymore. I feel sluggish. My brain is foggy. My joints are hurting. 2 doctors just sent me away and said, you're too young for this. Okay, great. Thanks. So then I went to see a rheumatologist. Right, exactly.
Like women like to be told they look young, but I'd kind of like a diagnosis.
Right, exactly. So then I saw the rheumatologist and I said, please just help me. And he goes, your blood work's coming back completely normal, but I'm going to treat you anyway because maybe it just isn't showing up yet. So I appreciate on the one hand that he did treat me for something. But 4 years later, I was like, fuck this shit. I still feel like crap all the time. And then I just went to a homeopathic doctor, not expecting potions or magic or anything, but just asking for, tell me what I'm missing.
With a bag of crystals.
Right. I just said, tell me what I'm missing. Is there something else that I'm overlooking that I could start with? And she's like, yeah, start with the food that you're eating. And turns out that's all I needed. But I should have done one of those diagnostic medical centers to send all. Maybe I should reverse engineer this and send them all my symptoms I was having before and see if they come to the conclusion that it's
kind
the
of cool
food.
because like you get a primary person who's essentially your liaison, who is generally a retired doctor that is just at home chilling and will take all the things coming in and essentially and filter them out. Yeah, exactly. They'll hold them about waist level, looking down at them. Through their bifocals, and then they weed out the things that they don't think even remotely is a possibility, and they just kind of help be that soft filter. And then within just a day, like you start getting things coming in, the possibilities, and it's not just like, hey, try this. It's like, look for this, do a blood panel. The same blood panel will tell you this, blah blah blah, and like I don't know, it's very fucking cool.
So is it meant to be kind of like so you have a better idea of what to even go to your doctor with?
Yes.
And that's necessary sometimes.
Yeah.
Because most doctors are like, here's this pill. Just go take it and get out of my office.
Well, that's because these fuckers.
Yeah.
And I love my doctor. but like he's always got free samples or something.
Yes.
Because they got these medical sales professionals who are making 250 G's a year.
That's right.
Who come because they're coming in and saying, hey, you pass this shit out.
Well, also, we live in the world where the first thing you do when something's wrong is you Google it, right?
Right.
And so before you've ever stepped foot in a hospital or anything, you're almost making your decision of which one to step in based on what your own research has told you.
Which is always, this is the worst thing ever and you're going to.
Yeah, I mean, if you fucking, what's the online?
WebMD.
Yeah, WebMD tells me I have cancer.
Right.
Like every day. I'm like, turns out I needed Tums. But it said it was cancer. No, it's not that. But you can get really precise nowadays. And so, when people do that, you have a lot more people that are skipping, primary care and stuff like that, and they're going straight to specialists. But a specialist, what do? They specialize. Mm-hmm. They just look for things that fit inside their box, right? And so when you're going to specialists and they don't find the specialty that they work on, they go, I don't know how to help you. Mm-hmm. And then they refer you somewhere else. I have hit this thing twice.
I was worried about that.
Look, Colin's smiling. He's like, "That's right, motherfucker." Like,
it's, in my head, it's like Tally.
Because usually you're the one accused of that, right?
He's typically the one that does that.
That's one thing I like about the pediatrician we have for our kids is they will prescribe medication, they will do regular medical stuff, but it's always what's the natural or homeopathic solution first.
Yeah,
right.
So it's like, yeah, we'll give your son a low dose of an ADHD anxiety med, but he also should take a supplement of zinc and omega-3s, and he should change this part of his diet. It's like, yes, we'll augment it with medication because science exists and medication exists for a reason.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But focus first on natural health. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I agree.
That's good.
I'm with that. I am with that.
Speaking of, I for the next, it's starting in October. I'm going to take October off of the old sauce, eh?
Why?
Oh.
Just feel like I could use. I've been drinking a lot. I've been drinking pretty heavily.
Did your acne come back? Didn't you say that you get acne?
Well, that's the thing. It's like I want to clean my skin up. I would love to lose 10, 12 pounds.
Yeah.
So
cool.
It's more or less just like get it out of my body for a while. Yeah.
It's a reset.
I think that's good.
And like I don't know if they still do, but like Jordan and Meg, they used to do a once a month do a sober week. Like 3 weeks on, 1 week off.
Okay.
Interesting.
Which is a cool idea.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to just kind of cleanse it out of me.
So right now, this weather that we're starting to have out here, it's autumn now. This is where I want to drink every night by the fire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing.
That's why it's hard. Like, this is a weird time to do that.
That's the
sober.
thing. October is a good drinking month.
Yeah.
But September has been so stressful and busy, and we've done all these trips and stuff. So I feel like I've just been on these like hit it really hard for 3 days and then like try and chill for a few days.
So what are we doing on the podcast? We're not gonna be drinking.
You can drink?
No. We're a collective team. We're about to get some 0 calorie.
Totally kidding.
Okay, first of all, I like Coke Zeros.
Or we could do
big fan of
I have
Coke
not
Zero.
We could do like craft sodas.
Oh, like some boiling?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, let me just update. I can no longer get my coffees for 99 cents.
I was going to ask you about that.
So here's what happened. I'm pretty sure their records indicated that they were selling none because the shit wasn't in the system.
Because they weren't swiping it through.
Yeah. So they did two things. One, they moved them from the right side of the cooler to the left side of the cooler, and they put them on sale. And I was like, oh, shit, they're on sale. That means they would have had to do something in the system to make them on sale. Well, the first one I scanned was still fucked up. And I was like, oh, wow, they just put a ticket out here. They're still fucked up in the system. Next time I went, they were right. So I haven't drank one since. That shows you that I just didn't give that much fuck about the coffee because I'm still buying, $5 pumpkin drinks from Starbucks.
Yeah.
Look, you're shaking your head at me.
Yeah, fuck the pumpkin shit.
No, have you had the cold brew, though?
I haven't.
That's why you're saying
I've been meaning to try that, so I'll let you know what I think.
But speaking of Starbucks and cold brew, I was unaware until yesterday that there was a size larger than Venti.
Trenta or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
I got
Trenta.
a Trenta cold brew yesterday.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Brutal.
Yeah.
A lot of coffee.
Yeah. Do you do the nitro?
Did you finish it?
No.
They won't give you anything other than the grande. That's as high as they'll give you as the nitro. And universally, everybody thinks the nitro has more caffeine.
Why?
It has nothing to do with the makeup of it. It's all just about
the nitrogen.
It's about the smoothness of it.
I know. Everyone's like, oh man, I had a nitro and I'm zooming. I'm like, You know, the blonde roast has more caffeine, and
It's
everyone's
because
like,
the word nitro. Like,
it
nitro.
is, and everybody like looks at me and they're like, "That's not true." And I'm like, "Google it, fucking Google it." And every
Monday,
Every
nitro
time.
cold brew.
Exactly. I sit back and I just bask in the being rightness every time. Motherfuckers all think
You ready to see space and time, motherfuckers?
what are you doing?
I'm just doing like being stoked about caffeine.
Nitro.
I'm super stoked I'm super stoked on caffeine. Caffeine doesn't.
I am super stoked
It does
on
not. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't make me like. It doesn't jack me up the way it used to. That's what I should do. I used to every once in a while, like when I'd be really hungover, I would just go, fuck it. I'm not gonna drink caffeine today. I'm gonna get the headache. It doesn't matter because I'm already hungover. And then I would take a few days off caffeine.
Oh, I could
Oh my
never
God.
do that.
If I'm hungover, the first thing I need to do is like slam 3 coffees.
Nope, not me. I can't. I literally can't. I cannot. When I'm hungover, I can't drink or eat for, I don't know, from whenever I wake up until like 8:30 at night. And my wife's the opposite. She wants to eat like a big ass meal and chill, and then she's good. Not me. And you said you're the person who likes to like go sweat it out, like mow the lawn or something.
Fuck yeah.
Not me. Dude, I want to fucking just put me back to sleep and wake me up like 8:30 and give me a whole Donato's pizza and I'm straight. I'm good to go.
I'm more on your side on this one. I accidentally drank an entire bottle of wine, and I will explain. But I accidentally drank an entire bottle of wine.
Tripped and fell. Drank the
No,
whole
somebody else was pouring, and I didn't realize that the size of these glasses were larger than normal. And so she was pouring glass after glass. Usually with 2 glasses of wine, I'm good. These were 2 big, giant glasses of wine.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I had to metabolize that whole thing because I couldn't throw it up. So,
Ugh.
you know.
Wait, why can't you throw it up?
It's this thing. I hate it so much that even when I try to, my body suppresses it. So I was trying to get it out of me.
I am the opposite.
2 days it took me to recover from that. I was out.
I could probably throw up right now. Like I have it on like command.
No way.
Are you hungover?
No.
Oh, you mean just
just in general. I can just get in my head and be like, it's got to go.
Please don't.
Like fucking jackass shit?
Maybe.
Because they're all faking that shit. I mean, not faking, but commanding it.
Yeah.
Like when they smell something and they're all like,
oh yeah,
and then they're throwing up like crazy.
Yeah.
They're all doing that as a
There's
show.
a guy, Mike Lear.
Yeah.
He can throw up on command.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've fucking like, I'm not kidding. I've been standing outside of bars. And he's like, I'm about to throw on this person's shoe. I'm like, what? And he'll just like,
this motherfucker. I saw him 2 weeks ago. I went to a show at Bourbon Street, and he was there, and he's back in Ringworm.
No shit.
He's playing guitar now. Second guitar.
I did
He
not
was
know
bass
that.
before.
Oh, wait, didn't he just go on tour? Was that? I could have swore he just went on tour with a different man. I don't fucking know. All I know is
he had a death metal, like it was like a blackened death metal band called Eternal Bloodshed, and they were actually super sweet. We played a show with them, or no, when I was playing bass in Northern Widows, we played a show with them, and they were awesome, but they broke up, and then he joined Ringworm on second guitar.
Didn't know that.
So.
I have to go back to him for just a second.
No, Mike Lair's amazing.
Yeah, the dude also would just like rip farts on people. Like,
were you friends with him on Snapchat?
No, I've never really had a Snapchat and been able to understand it. That's where I'm like a fucking boomer.
There was a minute there every single morning. You can keep going with your story, but there was a minute there every single morning because he like drives a truck, like a distribution company or some shit like that. Every single morning, he's like all these snaps, and he would send them to like people. So like I was getting them, and he's like singing, he's like rah, 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 and then all of a sudden, right in the. I mean, like all the time, hilarious.
Yeah, that's I've seen him throw up on people's shoes.
Oh
like
God.
Random people walking down the street. He'd be like, I'm going to throw up on their shoes. I'm like, oh my God. Or he would just like, remember the stairwell when you go like from High Street down to Bernie's?
Yeah.
Dude, I saw him coming up the stairs and stop and then go walk in and people go, oh my God. Like he just stopped, farted, and it was right in the face of just random people.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's too much.
Hilarious.
So Beth.
Yes. Yes, Jeff.
I was surprised to see you back working. In the location where you do work.
That's right.
Because I feel like you've kind of done what I always speculated people should do in the corporate world, which is, when you get into a company, you start making moves in the company. The company has no real incentive to bump you up to where you should be. And that's a common complaint in the corporate world is, what the fuck? Like, you hired me, I'm inside the company, I bring all this company knowledge, and then you hire this person from outside the company and you paid them more. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand that. And that's a really common thing.
It is.
So I've been rocking with the same company for greater than 10 years. Meanwhile, you have jumped around quite a bit and even pursued some, I don't know if it was joint careers, maybe?
Joint.
Were you doing like the real estate thing or something?
Oh, that was something I was doing on the side, testing the waters a little bit to see if I wanted to do that. Nope.
No, not for you?
Not for me. Dealing with the public that closely, not a good idea.
So was, in your experience, like, was it good to go to other companies? Do you feel that it was valuable?
Extremely.
What was valuable about it? And I asked because I'm actually really curious. I kind of want to leave. Like,
I asked because I'm looking.
I'm honestly, like, I'm always looking. Collins said this before. Like, I'm always looking, like, what's my next move? How can I monetize this? What can I do? Like, I'm curious. Like, what was the big benefits about leaving?
Well, I've left twice and come back twice. And the first time, it was because, just like you described, I'd been there for so long, I only got incremental raises, and I knew that I was so far undervalued. I just Googled salary for my title in this area, and I was underpaid by $25,000. Yeah. So I went to my boss and I said, this is what I think you need to pay me. If not, I'm going to look elsewhere. She said, I can't pay you that. So I said, all right. So I started looking, and then HR called me and did an exit interview. I got the offer. I asked to match it. They said no. So I said, all right, I'll leave. And HR said, wink, wink. We kind of know that a lot of people leave and come back. So you're leaving on good terms. If you ever want to come back, just think of us.
That's tight.
That's a you're valuable to us.
Yes,
kind of call.
Exactly. Funny story, though. I ended up coming back 9 months later to the same department, and they did pay me to match the salary that they had paid me externally. So what they couldn't do 9 months ago, they wanted me back.
It's just a bureaucratic
it is
portion of it. Like, they can't justify, we've already got this person. I can't justify bringing them up to where market value is for them, but they can justify paying somebody that, but just not bringing one of their already hired people up to it.
Because it opens up Pandora's box.
Oh, yeah.
All the other employees on the team have to be made whole as well.
Well,
so.
I made that statement the other day on LinkedIn. I said companies that are secretive and that don't don't promote openly talking about your salaries with your coworkers are companies that are probably not evenly paying people across the board.
Right.
Have you ever worked for a company like that just openly tells everybody what everyone else makes?
No.
That's a big popular thing. That's starting to be like a big thing now.
Well, my husband does because he's a teacher, so they all know what everybody else makes.
Stupid.
You say that, but there's a lot of data science behind it that says that companies that do that, they put everything on level playing field. You can present like your case and say, oh no, this person, I'm doing what that person's doing. There's case there, right? And there's paying. There's some big companies that do it too. I feel like a lot of big companies do it. Who does that shit?
I don't know.
There's a big one.
Do that?
It might be like Google or Amazon or someone. There's somebody big that fucking does that. But there's a lot of data science behind it.
Fuck data science.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Fuck all that.
Well, that wasn't the only valuable thing that came out of that. I mean, obviously, when I went, the first time I left, the company I went to, I was so bored. So freaking bored because I'm used to a fast-paced environment. And I kept asking for more things to do. And I was like, I can't do this. So then I started...
Not me. I'm sorry, what? You're going to pay me how much to do less? Like,
no.
Like, I got a
So
phone. I'll stay busy. I got a phone.
Here's the thing, though. You can't really tell people that you're bored.
Oh,
and
hell no.
If I'm sitting on my phone all day long, that makes me not want to go into work. Then I realize all the things that I could be doing if I were at home. Being bored at work is probably the worst thing for me.
I would prep for I'd prep for this podcast more.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I would do. I would sit back and like actually do some prep work. Colin don't do shit. I'm surprised you even got in the Trello board.
Motherfucker.
What?
I don't do shit. I show up here and I talk.
Yeah, I mean
that's pretty much what a podcast is.
Yeah. No, I still remember like I'm one of those people that like I can half-ass things, but a half-ass thing's better than some people whole-ass them.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure. And so I did a lot of thinking when I was starting this podcast. Like I was like, man, I had all these like concepts and ideas, and like I had a whole different name and everything. And it wasn't until I posted and was like, would anybody want to do this? And can you meet these 6 criteria? And Colin's like, all but one.
What was the one?
I don't fucking know. I'll have to look back through it and figure out what it was. But I think you said something like all but one, or I meet most of those, or some shit. And then once I read that, I was like, dude, Colin would be the greatest person to start a podcast with. Fuck it. Got a new idea. And like these 3 or 4 months of preparation for the other podcast, just threw that shit out the window. I deleted like all the things associated with it and just changed it over. Heckin' Cool Dads. And here it is, 25 episodes later.
But you still got me just fucking showing up.
Just showing up. That's it. Just showing up. Showing up and bringing the tecates.
Yeah. So the second time I left and came back was very similar, kind of weirdly, except for the fact that I actually missed working at my current job. I missed it. I missed the people. I missed the job. So what I learned at the other place I went to, which was a competitor, I learned that the company that I'm working for now has pretty good technology. And if I'm a person who wants to work in IT, that's where I got to be. So it was kind of nice coming back. And I learned kind of what I want out of my career right now, which is, I think, more important than the salary jump. But I had another conversation with human resources, and they said, yeah, we know the people leave and come back all the time. I'm like, no, I did not mean to do this. I didn't leave just to get a raise. Oh, sure. Yeah, we know. I'm like, seriously, I just wanted to come back. But I've better prioritized what I want. And what I want out of my career now is actually to like the people that I work with. And not that I didn't like the people that were at the other place, but I just missed all the fun that we had together.
Yeah.
With the people that I'm with now.
So that's, I think that's where I'm at too. Like years ago, like I had kind of this amount in my mind that I was like, I feel like I'd be happy as an adult if I made X amount. And then once I made X amount, I was kind of like, all right, now my priorities can switch. Mm-hmm. I'm going to stop just looking for the job that pays me X amount and just know that from here on out, I just want to like the job.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
yeah,
good.
I was talking with my dad about this the other night because I like, what's making the clicking?
It's probably you.
Me?
I don't know.
It's fine. But
you were talking with your dad.
I was talking with my dad about this the other night, and because it's funny because I gave up on those dreams a long time ago, as far as the last time I had a thought of, man, this will show you how long ago it was. The last time I had a thought about in that similar thing was, you know what? Once I'm married and have kids and, you know, stuff like that, I'll be happy if I'm making $40,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
Man.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And, but you know, it's just, my priorities changed. It's like, yeah, we're broke sometimes. Yeah, things get tight. Yeah, we have a lot of debt from, you know, being a millennial, in 2008 through 2012. Mm. You know, we have a lot of debt because we were fucked by the economy. But you know, to me, fulfillment and finding joy in what I do is so much more important than how much I get paid. Mm-hmm. You know, I would love to get paid more money than I do now, but I also get paid a lot more than people my age. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just want to feel fulfilled. I don't want to feel on Sunday night like that GTA meme. Oh shit, here we go.
Yeah,
again.
here we go again.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just don't want to. I don't want to feel that dread of going to work. Yep. That's what I want. I want joy that comes with my work. Money is a added bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel the same way, but I do feel that if I somehow dropped below a certain amount, I'd go back to panic mode.
No, see, and we've talked about this before. Is I don't even think that way.
No, because honestly, like,
which is fine. Like, I think it makes sense. My brain doesn't work that way.
Mine doesn't either, for the most part. But I also think that's maybe because I don't feel that I'll ever be, you know, just getting by anymore, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like I have transferable skills now, and, you know, yada yada.
Absolutely. I would recommend, if you have the opportunity to leave and come back, or to just leave, do it. what do you have to lose? You have a great job now, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt
tentatively, I have in my brain, I have an idea of when I'll start putting feelers out there. Because like several times I've been going to leave and just didn't. One time I actually went through 5 interviews and got the job. And it was right when this like, had a lot going on at home, and like, my brother-in-law had just killed himself. And so like in my mind, I was like, damn, I'm going to pass that job up. This is not the right time to be switching jobs. Like I got to be there for my wife and yada, yada. So I went into work with the intention of telling them, hey, look, sorry to put you through all the bullshit, but I'm actually going to stay, because I needed that familiarity. I needed the seniority to be able to go, hey, I'm going to just kind of work from home this week. I needed all that. And before I even got anything out of my mouth, they're like, hey, you're very valuable to what we're doing and yada, yada, and we're going to match your offer.
Damn.
And I was like, oh, shit. So I actually got the best of both worlds, where they matched me to stay, and I didn't have to leave, and then I still had, all my bullshit.
That's great.
So 2 things. One, holy shit, I've got some fucking tan lines on my ankles. Anybody wear socks? Like, is it everybody just rocking no socks?
I got socks on.
You got socks? Let me see what you got. Oh, yes, you got the...
These are Sierra socks, actually, because I couldn't find any of my short socks.
So, before you were rocking the Jordan 1s...
So they have pink Hanes on them.
On the bottom?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so before you were rocking the Jordan 1s, you had on like some low-cut shoes all the time.
Vans, yeah.
Okay, do you wear socks with those?
No.
Okay, I don't know why, but I cannot not wear socks.
That's fair.
I hate the feeling, that sweaty feeling.
Every time I get them, I'm like, I need to get some of those no-show socks. And
that's what I finally bought my first pair. And so like I'm wearing my low-cut fucking shoes again, but oh my God, I have fucking tan lines around my ankles. It's the weirdest shit. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. I got the whitest feet ever. And then
but do you have short tan lines?
No. My tan lines up there do end a little closer to the knee.
Okay.
You got the shorty boys on.
Yeah, these are the little ones.
Sorry. These are the that's not, I mean, you have some shorter ones. The beige ones are shorter, aren't they?
No, the beige ones they're about an inch longer. But the funny thing is though, this is maybe TMI, not really, but like these boxer briefs I have on, I actually have to like push them up because they're longer than the shorts.
You can buy different boxer briefs.
No, I know that.
They got the long and the short.
I have a handful of pairs that are longer, and this was all that was left today because I'm in the middle of doing all of our
laundry day, huh?
Yeah, it's laundry day.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna switch topics just for a minute.
You're like, Colin started talking about his legs again. So.
No. We all love Colin's legs. Here, I'll push the beer closer to you.
I do keep looking in the thing, and it's just like Jesus, it's like legs.
Yeah. Well, you see, I got my fucking fast food, my junk food.
I love awesome. It. That's great.
I was randomly like, okay, so in my old department, we were business casual most of the time, and then dressed down on Friday, right?
Yeah.
And so like I was like, oh man, a fast food shirt? Like I'm buying a fast food shirt for a fucking, normal dress on Friday, or what's it called? Casual Friday. That's the word.
Yeah.
So dude, I don't need it anymore. We're casual every day.
Normal dress Friday.
Yeah. Regular guy clothes Thursday.
It's just Friday now.
Yeah, it's just Friday. But I forgot I had this fucking shirt, and I put it on. And I was like, man, I love this shirt. I'm gonna wear this more often. Anyway, so I was outside today. What the fuck was I even talking about? Because I'm about to switch gears again. Did I say I was going to switch gears and never go into it?
Yeah.
Good, because I have no idea what I was
doing.
Good. I was outside today, and I was trying to teach Hayden how to throw a football, because I realized there are some fundamental things that dads do that I have not been doing. And sports is one of them. So when we moved up there, I've said this before, he's like the artsy kid. We came from schools around here where like a lot of the parents are like millennials and tattooed and into some type of either art or music or something. So he was around kids that were the same. Up here in the new school district, it's all sporty kids. All sporty kids everywhere, as far as the eye can fucking see. They wear like Under Armour and shit like that. And it was a culture shock to him when he was there in 3rd grade. And 4th grade, it was still a little different. 5th grade, it's getting a little better. He's starting to show interest in it. So now I'm like, man, you are really far behind on this whole sports thing. I need to show you how. Trying to throw a football with him today was painful. It was painful
because
to watch.
Because you suck at it?
No.
Or because he sucks at it?
Because he sucks at it. It was.
He doesn't listen to this, does he?
He might, but I told him he sucked at it. No, I didn't, but I gave him a bunch of tips. The point I was trying to make is not only that he sucked at football, but he used to not take any constructive criticism from me. I could say, hey, I see how you're doing it. Why don't you try it this way? He would try it. He'd fail at it. His perfectionist tendencies would kick over and go, I can do it better this way. I want to do it this way. And I go, but that way is weird and the wrong way. That's not the traditional way to do it. He didn't care because the completion was closer to perfection and he has perfectionist tendencies, which I guess is really common with like kids that are gifted.
Yeah.
So through the last couple years, we have seen that hit its peak and now I'm starting to see it dial back. So we already had our first meeting with the teacher because we have these like, 3, maybe 4 times a year, even outside of open house. We go in and meet with the guidance counselor. We meet with the principal. We meet with his gifted teacher and we meet with his homeroom teacher. And immediately walking in, they were like, he's amazing. Listen to the shit he wrote. Like they were reading us things he wrote. And I'm like, oh my God, this kid's a genius. Like he is so well-spoken and so articulate. At his age, they're like, we have no one even close to writing like he is and reading. But I think all that comes from he's more receptive and more open to try things without the fear of failing. And we're actually seeing a greater success because of it. So out there today, trying to throw the football and I'm throwing these like spirals to him and he's like not really catching it. And then
I'm throwing perfect spiral after perfect fucking spiral.
Yeah, it's like, I was like, I told him to fucking run whatever formation and he didn't even know what that was.
Shirt off.
Yeah, I ripped my shirt completely off. And then everyone said, put it back on. No, so I was like throwing to him. He wasn't really catching it. You could see he's like really scared of the ball and he's like flinching up and kind of grabbing it and then not. And then throwing it was just a whole nother story. And I would give him tips without hesitation. He was just trying every tip. And before we got done, I was like, he was starting to get it. And I don't know how you guys were as kids, but I was the exact same way. I figured out the way that I could do it. That was it. Mm-hmm. That's all I wanted to do. You the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still that way?
Kinda.
In what regard? Do you have a specific example?
When I learn how to do something, it is generally like, no, I want something to do something the way it works in my head. So I just figure out how to do that. For instance, like I don't play the guitar in, I would say, a necessarily traditional way. Like it's really hard for me to just like do chords and switch chords and stuff like that.
Shit, me
You know
either.
what I mean? But it's like I have taught myself how to play guitar in the way that I make it sound like I want it to sound.
Makes
poorly,
sense.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get that.
Not only do I understand what you mean, I know exactly what you mean because that's me. I don't know shit about shit when it comes to guitar.
If somebody said, "Could you play a sus7?" I'm like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm like, what fret is that? Give me the number. I work off of fucking tabs here. Do you have examples? Do you do that, or are you more? Were you always more open?
Slightly different. I will not do anything until I am ready to fail at it.
Oh, so you got to mentally prepare.
I have to mentally prepare. So my mom liked to tell this story when I was a kid. They took us to the playground, and I have an older brother and an older sister, and I would not want to go on the slide because I saw my brother go up and he went down the slide and then fell on his butt, and I was like, I don't want to do that. So they tried to get me on this. I was kicking and screaming. So they just let me be by myself. And what I did was I watched both of them go up and down the slide until I could figure out how to do it without falling. And so then when nobody's looking, I climb up and I'm going up and down.
It's like studying it and going, okay. You know, I think I may have talked about this at one point, but when I showed Sierra how to drive a stick, she wanted to learn how to drive a stick. And this was when I was in Kingsblood and we were practicing at the Mike Lair, Mark Evans spot. You know what I'm talking about in Hilliard?
Yeah, I was there. I practiced there.
You did?
Yeah. Kept trash practice there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't know what episode, what season.
So you were intimately familiar with just being at practice and then somebody else just show up and start watching porn on the couch?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Nice.
Anyway, I took her to that parking lot and said, okay, showed her around, and I was like, okay, your turn. 5 minutes. She had it. Didn't stall once. And I was like, what? How?
Yeah.
Like, it took me a week to lock this in. And she goes, I've just been watching you for the last 2 weeks.
Right. That's it.
So it's funny that you chose that specific example, because that's actually a story we could have had when we had Kyle on here. So, man, Kyle has put up with so much fucking Jeff. He's put up with all of me for so many years. The dude is so patient, apparently. Because every time I get on here now, I'm starting to think of more ways that I was just a turd to Kyle. Anyway, so he got a Jetta, and it was a stick. He couldn't drive stick. His uncle made him like keep it in the apartment complex parking lot and like go all around there. Yeah, for like weeks.
Oh my
for
God.
fucking weeks, right? And like he wasn't allowed to go anywhere. And then finally he was allowed to like drive away. Well, I grew up riding dirt bikes. So I already had the concept of clutch, and I watched my brothers and everybody. And so I had it. So again, this is when Kyle had a Geo Tracker, which, oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Stick shift Geo Tracker?
Stick shift Geo Tracker.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
I thought of another story about that. Let me tell you in a minute. Hang
I
on.
have
It's
a
like a fucking
story
little
about a
tyke.
Geo
It
Tracker.
is, but Kyle's a little tyke.
Ah!
So it was a perfect size vehicle. Anyway, I'm giving him shit. I'm like, come on, Kyle. Dump the clutch, Kyle. Like, let's peel out in this bitch. And he's like, he's basically telling me, like, it's not easy to drive a stick. Like, you have to focus. And I'm like, fuck that. I could drive a stick. It's the same thing that happened with the golf. Fuck you, Kyle. I can hit a golf ball. And he's like, you know what? We're going right now. He took me over to Berliner and gets out and he goes, okay, here's what you do. I go, fuck you, Kyle. I know what to do. Like, I was just such a dick all the time. I was just like, and just took off, shifting gears. And he goes, what the fuck? And I was like, I don't know, man. I just felt like it was going to be easy, and it was easy. And he's like, go up here, turn it off, do it again. Now take off. Taking off is the hardest part. I was like, He's like, what the fuck? And I was like, you want me to drive home?
I'll never forget. I learned how to drive a stick in a 85 Mazda RX-7. Okay. So it's a little tiny sports car, rear wheel drive, really light. Okay.
Yeah.
The first time, because when you're learning to drive a stick, the first time you roll back on a big hill, I mean, you roll back at almost every light.
Yeah.
That's not even. But the first time you roll back on a big hill is like terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels like.
You always peel out.
Dude, and so I'm in a sports car that's rear wheel drive with no weight in the back.
Yeah.
And I freaked and just, and it was like,
Oh my
was
God.
like watching a drag race. It was like, I mean, it was like just tearing
I
that
did the
shit
same
up.
thing in my brother's Ford Ranger.
Just tearing that shit up.
Because a truck, it was
Yeah.
also rear wheel.
Yeah.
And it had nothing. It's just a truck bed.
Yeah.
And so I remember where I was when this happened. I was getting off of 104 at 23 right there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I was sitting there, and I was doing the thing where, like, you're just barely letting off the clutch a little bit. And it's like, and I was kind of keeping myself. Yeah. And then I kind of, like, I was, like, looking in my side mirrors just to kind of see, are there cars behind me? Because I was panicking. It was just tipped enough to where if I'd have just held the clutch in, I'd have rolled back. And I felt like they were too close. And so I was doing the thing where I just give it a little gas, let off the clutch. I'm staying there. And then as I'm looking in the mirrors, I noticed the cars in front of me were gone. I was like, oh shit, the light turned. And I let off, dude. I fucking squealed, turned the corner, squealed, fishtailed, was like, was panicking. No, but let me go back, because the story I thought about the Geo Tracker, I don't remember this coming up when Kyle was here. Did we ever talk about when his stereo got stolen?
No.
Okay. So he was living in the dorms. He was going to OSU. And so back then, because Kyle's old as fuck too, back then you had to park like, I don't know, a mile.
Tread carefully, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I'm older than Kyle.
I know, but I'm older than both of you.
Maybe. So he had to park like a mile away,
I'm
right?
the youngest.
Yeah, Colin's young. He had to park like a mile away. Well, he shows up, and this is when we were hanging out all the time. Like, we would show up to the dorm to get him, or I don't even know if I had a car at the time. So I'm like, Kyle, come get me. So he goes to get his car from the lot, and he had the soft top on the Geo Tracker, and somebody had cut it, climbed in. He's like, fuck, man, my stereo's gone. And so he's like,
God.
shit. Anyway, he's driving. He goes, what does that smell? Oh, somebody's shit. So not only did they steal his stereo, but they shit on the floor.
Oh my God.
In the back.
Oh my God.
Which, like, I mean,
man.
it's hard to even it's hard to ride in the car after that because you're like, man, some rando just
Somebody
pooped in your
else's
car.
DNA sitting right here next to me.
jeez.
Oh.
But is that crazy?
Oh
I can't.
my God.
I cannot believe that of all the things that we talked about last time, we didn't talk about
Someone's
the
stealing the
geo-tracker.
stereo, and I was like, oh shit, hold on.
And
I gotta
poop.
do this right now. I gotta do it right now.
See, and then it makes you wonder. It's like what came first, right? The chicken or the egg? It's like, did they really have to shit? And they were like, oh, a stereo.
It's all the time they spent squatting in that position.
I really
staring at it,
I
like-
really have to shit, so I'm gonna cut through the soft top on this geo tracker.
Yeah,
What
I
color
mean-
was it?
Red.
Oh, okay, because the thing about geo trackers that's amazing is like half of them are like fucking late '80s, early '90s Saved by the Bell colors.
Yes.
with like
Yes.
fucking.
My cousin had one.
fucking
Yeah, it was like a
jazz
purple
on the
color.
side.
Yeah.
Jazz.
Yes,
know, like-
I know what you're talking about. The squiggly lines.
The wavelength?
Yeah. Yes, my cousin had a geo tracker. So
Jazz on the side.
I know. That's gonna be the name of the episode. Jazz on the side.
There you go. So
Oh,
16-year-old me, first time I ever drove drunk was in a geo tracker because I was the least drunk of all of us, drinking with my cousin and my sister and a couple of my cousin's friends, and she had a purple geo tracker. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that I will never forget that night.
What was your first car?
Let's see. Well, technically, my first car that was mine was a Chevy Cavalier. The first car I ever drove.
Do you remember the color and the
though,
year?
Yes, it was a red '98 Cavalier.
Jesus. See,
Yeah.
and that's crazy because you said you're older than me, but my first car.
I'm turning 40 in about 3.5 weeks.
My first car
Nice.
was significantly older than yours.
Yeah.
My first car, I got my first car in 2000. I was 18. I did not take my driver's test when I was 16.
I got mine in 2000 when I was 17.
I waited, got it. What was yours? Did we talk about this before? What was your first car?
A 1984 Volvo GL station wagon.
Well, that's nice. Mine was an 84 Toyota Corolla.
Nice.
It was gold
Very nice.
or champagne, I believe.
Those fucking. My grandparents had an '83 Corolla, and it got destroyed in a accident. But
I bet it still rode. I bet it still drove.
Had it not, that thing had 650,000 miles on it.
Jesus.
Ooh,
That see,
650,000.
you will not get
Because
that
they drove
out of
to
a car.
They drove from Edmonton, Alberta, to Tampa, Florida, and back every year twice.
So my 84, my brother, one of my brothers, he always had like a fairly nice car or a couple of them. He had a Corvette that he only drove in like, the spring and the
What
summer.
year?
It was
Like a Malibu Barbie Corvette?
No, it was a newer one.
Oh,
It was
okay.
it was the newer one that has like the squarish kind of back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking like when you said my brother had a Corvette, I'm thinking like 1992 fucking classic, like on every poster on every boy's wall Corvette.
No, it was after they changed the back of them and stuff. Anyway, so he had that, and then he had, I don't know what he had later, but he bought this to be a winter car. He paid $400 for it. And was like, hey, if it lasts through the winter, it did its job, right? So after the winter's up, he's like, you can have it. Like, I don't need that. It was a $400 car. You can have it. So he gives it to me. Man, I fucking abused the shit out of the thing. Like, as any 18-year-old would that didn't have a job. Fuck no.
No, what was the car?
The 84 Toyota Corolla.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He bought it to not have to drive this Corvette in the winter and shit.
I see.
And it lasted through the winter, so he gave it to me.
On that.
Anyway, so he gives it to me. Obviously, I don't do anything except put gas in it. Like, why would I maintenance a car? I'm 18. I'm not maintaining this car. There'll be no oil changes. I mean, fuck it. It doesn't even need wipers. If a bulb goes out, fuck that bulb. Like, I don't care about shit. I would give friends rides, and then I would literally find change in the seat. That's what went in the gas tank. I wasn't driving. I mean, I didn't have a job. I had like ways to make money, but I didn't have a job, right? So I didn't have just an income to just put gas in a car. Come on, no. Somebody was giving me gas money. Anyway, this fucking car, it had this issue that started probably from, my lack of maintenance, where once it got warmed up, so I could actually see like the temperature gauge. It was fine when I first started it. I'd drive around. The moment that bitch got in the center and was warmed up.
Operating temperature.
Yes. Is that what that's called?
Yes.
Once it got to operating temperature, it would start sputtering and like try and shut off. And so I'd come up to like a stop sign and I'd have to throw it in neutral and go like kind of take off. And then it'd have this little, like, I call it throwing a fit. And once it was like done throwing a fit after like 5 minutes of me working past it, it was fine for the day. All the way fine. It was some sensor. It was like a fucking, I don't know.
I never trust those things anymore.
Sensors.
I was gonna say it needed fuel injectors clean, but
no, it was 1,000% fine. If I could get it past that, I would even sometimes like I would just, if I wasn't going anywhere important, I knew it had this problem, so I baked this into all my time. I'd pull over and just sit there and just brum, 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 just work through it, and then finally I could let off and be like, it's fine, it's idling just fine. Okay, I'm good, and I was good for the day. It would not do it again. It happened from the time it got warmed up for about 5 or 6 minutes, and then it was fine for the day.
What's the scariest shit that has happened to you while driving?
Oh
my
God.
I have a story.
I had a really bad one that it fucking happened yesterday. Or was it yesterday? It was either yesterday or the day before. I was on my way to the gym. It's late as fuck. It's probably like 11:30. And I'm kind of spacey. I'm just driving. I'm not expecting much. And all of a sudden a guy starts merging over. And I just, I like saw it last fucking minute, swerved over into the berm, hit the gnarliest pothole. And I mean, that could have been the fucking end of me right there.
Yeah.
The second scariest thing is I was driving to Cleveland with Kyle. We have the windows down and a semi-truck tire blows out right next to us. So that was the loudest thing. Like I thought we were all dead. It was like, and it just echoed into the car. I've been terrified to drive by some semis ever since. And I mean, I was probably 18, 19.
Wow.
It's fucking terrible. What about you?
I have two. One is the second scariest was I had a 64 AMC Rambler, and that was my daily driver because it was one of those things where it was like I was all about the idea of having a classic car that I drove through the winter like they did in the 60s. You know what I mean? And it was in the wintertime, and I was coming down the hill on Broad Street by the DMV, by the BMV. You know what I'm talking about?
DMV or BMV?
This is Ohio, so it's called the BMV. In Michigan, it's called the Secretary of State's office. But anyway, I was coming down that hill. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The hill on Broad Street.
Yep.
And hit a patch of ice, black ice, rear-wheel drive, heavy fucking car.
Start going sideways.
That thing starts swinging. And it got to the point where it was like I was at 180, like I was perpendicular with the road, and then swung and perpendicular with the road the other way, and then swung.
Oh my God.
And I was like, this is it. This car is done. I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna get hurt because it's a car from the 1960s.
Oh, you're not gonna get hurt.
And I'm gonna go through the fucking window on this thing because it only had lap belts.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's true.
You know,
right.
and like,
Damn, they only had a lap belt?
I had to install the lap belts because it was before there was a law in place. And there was grandfathered in. So it had no seatbelts.
It had no
seatbelts.
What happens if you get pulled over with that? Because it's
It's
grandfathered in, you're good?
And I'm good. It's a classic car. They can't do shit about it.
Holy shit.
And anyway, so it's swinging back and forth. Some miraculous thing. There was no other cars around me, and I was able to correct it. But it was I was shook for like 3 hours. Okay, so, but the scariest thing was in my Volvo, my first car, I was 17 years old, so I'd only had it for a few months. I'm on 28th Street in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is like Broad Street out in Galloway or Hilliard. You know, like out.
So it's like a state route.
5-lane road.
Yeah.
Lots of businesses, fast food joints, malls, shit like that. It's like one of the main drags through Grand Rapids. Going down 28th Street, 45 miles per hour, and I needed to turn off onto the street coming up. I was heading somewhere. I don't know where I was going, but I needed to turn off on the street. And I hit the brakes. I smelled like a burning smell, like a rubber burning smell. Hit the brakes. I'm going 45 miles per hour in a heavy ass car. Pedal goes straight to the floor.
Ooh.
No resistance. Zero brakes. Okay. And I was just like, and immediately panic. I just like, holy shit, what am I going to do? And for some reason, you know, this was the one section of this street where there was maybe a mile and a half with no lights.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, I put my hazards on and I was just going like this. And I'm a kid. I had only been driving for like 6 months. So I'm not thinking like, you know, downshift to 2 and 1 with the automatic.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not thinking that way. I'm panicking. So I just, by the grace of God, there was no cars and no lights around me. And I finally got it. It was about 22, 23 miles per hour. And I saw an empty parking lot. And I fucking just jacked this thing. I can't believe I didn't roll it. I just went, and just like went into this parking lot. And I just went in a circle until it slowed down enough that I could just throw it and park. And it was just like, you know, and I was just, but I mean, I was scared to drive for days. I mean, it was brutal.
Yeah.
When you said go in the parking lot and go around, it reminded me of Speed with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Where he's like, he gets
exactly.
What's he at, like an airport or something?
Yeah.
Go below 55?
That's right.
Yeah, it's like that. What about you? What was
a
your
great movie.
Yeah, that is a good
super
movie.
underrated.
Speed 2 was so bad, though.
Garbage.
Absolutely. So going back to my 98 Cavalier, the reason that was that wasn't the first car that I drove, but my siblings and I had to share a car. So technically that Dodge Aries was not mine. It was an 89, I think. So Easter Sunday, my senior year of high school, we are driving to my grandma's house. My sister and I had picked up my brother at Bowling Green the night before. The car was overheating. My mom was like, it happens a lot. Going back to the story that you told, Jeff, it's like, that's kind of what happens to this car.
Yeah.
So we didn't think much of it, but then we're all three going to my grandma's house the next day. The car overheats. We're on 71, Easter Sunday, lots of traffic. We pull over. My brother pops the hood. Smoke just starts billowing out. He's like, oh, shit. So what do we do? We're stuck in the middle of nowhere. It's that patch of 71 where there's nothing. There's no exits. There's nothing out there.
Like,
so,
are you talking about north?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just were kind of like, okay, what do we do? So we ended up calling my mom. This is
obviously before cell phones, so you had to
Well, my mom had just given us her cell phone.
Oh, no shit.
It was just a coincidence. She was like, just take this in case something happens. Oh, my God. But she had just gotten that damn thing. So
I mean, they're probably relatively new.
Very new.
Right?
Yeah, this was 1998. So yeah, very new.
I got my first cell phone in 2000.
Yep, same here.
2001.
Yep.
Baby. You're just a baby, Colin. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, so then so the smoke's billowing out. He says, let me just give it a minute. And then he notices the paint starting to peel on the top of the hood. He's like, get the fuck out. Get out.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
so,
fuck.
Yeah.
That's bad.
So we step back, about 20 feet or whatever. And he goes, this is not going to end well. Do you have anything in the car? I was like, my book bag's in there. That's back when we actually thought, if you don't turn in your books at the end of the year, you're going to get thrown in jail or some shit like that. That's what they convince you of. So I'm thinking, I need my book bag.
Like college or high school?
No, high school.
High school. Okay.
Back, we all thought that. If you don't
I
turn in
didn't.
Your books,
That's why
well,
I barely went. I mean.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, I need my book bag. So my brother goes back to get it, and my sister flips out. She's like, oh my God, you're going to die. He gets my book bag. We ended up calling, I don't know, fire, whatever. And by the time the fire truck shows up, the car is completely gone. It had burned from the front all the way almost to the gas tank. They stopped traffic on 71 because they knew it could explode if this fire got. That thing was gone. And considering it was a holiday, there was so much traffic that was backed up.
You always see that shit when you're going on the freeway and you see like a car-shaped black spot on the side, and you're like, that person had a bad weekend.
Been there, done that. It was awful. That was scary. But that's why I ended up getting my Cavalier, because that car was gone. The three of us had no car to drive, so I was like, well, yeah, it's about time. Let me get my own car.
So I was with Kyle. He had this fucking old ass Buick or something. And I remember we were trying to drive to see one of our buddies who lived out in the middle of the country. And his fucking, what happened? Like, I think the engine like seized or something. And we were just trapped. And this is like neither one of us, did we have a cell phone? Now I don't remember. Now that I'm starting to put the time frame together, I think maybe I did have a cell phone. But being trapped as like an 18-year-old just on the side of the freeway, I mean, I don't give a fuck nowadays. Nowadays, I mean, it doesn't matter. My car breaks down, I'm like, fuck it, I'm good. I'll walk to this, I'll walk that. But at 18, I was kind of panicked. Like shit doesn't make me panic anymore though. At
almost 40, I'm still panicked about that.
I'm good.
That's what it's like to be a woman nowadays. You just can't trust the people are going to
My car is probably going to break down tonight. I mean, honestly, like it's not a joke. Like my car is, you started talking about serpentine belts and shit, and I said, man, I have something going on. I think I need to replace the belt that goes around like the alternator and stuff because
that's serpentine belt.
Well, motherfucker, I know that.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I know that's what it is. I'm telling you, I think it needs replaced. Like, I'm not disputing that is what it's called. You said serpentine belt. It reminded me. I have one that goes around the alternator.
That's the serpentine belt.
It turns out that's the fucking. That's it. That's the answer to all my problems.
No, I know what you're saying.
I know nothing about cars.
It might just need tightened up.
No, it needs replaced. I think. For one thing, they shouldn't just get loose. That shouldn't be a thing that happens. Typically, if that's the case, something's bent.
Or a tensioner is loose. There's pulleys that...
Right, but
we don't have to argue about it, Jeff.
Well, number one, I would not argue.
Something needs done.
Number one, I won't argue because, I know nothing about cars. The only reason I know anything about cars is because I've had every problem. All of them. So this one, it started by when I make lefts, chip, 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 you get the noise, right? So I'm like, all right, this fucking belt's going bad. Then it started getting way worse. Now it's like I shouldn't even have my air conditioning on. Like if I have my air conditioning on, it puts it over. And it's like, okay, bro. Like we started warning you with the chirps. Now the shit's full on making racket. And you're gonna put the air conditioner on? I'm breaking down. So the other day I was on like a back road and all of a sudden car shuts off. I was going around a roundabout. Car just shut off and I just coasted. I looked down and there's 3 lights on. And I said, well, that's a weird sequence of lights. Like, I know there's more lights on the dash because when you first go to turn the car on, that initial click, you see them all. I'm like, I know there's more. 3, it's probably something. It's probably a code. I should Google that. So, I put the car in neutral, turn it back on real quick, put it back in drive, go. I get home and I Google it and it's a intermittent charge system failure. And I said, oh, that makes sense because can't charge if there's no belt going around the alternator. So it's still a belt issue as far as I'm concerned. And I was like, I'll get to that this weekend. That was like, I don't know, 4 weekends ago. Like, it's getting worse. It's actually getting worse.
It's funny you talk about the AC because that Volvo, that 84 Volvo I had, it was one or the other. You either had air conditioning or power steering.
Oh shit!
If you turn the air conditioning on, the power steering stopped working.
Are you serious?
And when a car that has power steering, the power steering doesn't work.
Yeah,
it's like 10 times worse than a car that doesn't have power steering. So it was like, So I never had air on in that thing because it was just like it just stopped. It was crazy.
Wow.
So when you started talking about a car catching fire, it actually reminded me. I forgot about this. I used to drive my brother's. He had a Thunderbird.
Really?
And it had a system in it. So like when you have a car that has a
same brother with the Corvette?
No, different brother.
I was gonna say,
damn.
You either pick Chevy or Ford.
No, he didn't. I mean, he had a Nissan too. He had a 300ZX.
Well, that's different. You can have a Chevy or a Ford and a Japanese car.
Right.
But if you're not gonna get a fucking Chevy and a Ford and be the same person generally.
Are you sure? Is that why?
I agree
they generally
with that.
hate each other.
Yes.
No shit.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck. I pick cars solely.
It's like you're a Corvette
on...
guy or you're a Mustang guy. Generally, is what it comes down to.
Mustangs sound cool, but they're stupid, and I like. No, seriously, they sound great.
I think they're stupid.
Good, except for the 60s.
Oh yeah, okay. 60s Mustangs and then 70s the Mach 3. Those are fucking sweet. Other than that, fuck a Mustang.
So anyway, I used to drive his Thunderbird, and my brother had like an abundance of cars. Like at the time, I think he was trying to. He had a dealer's license, and he was like buying them from auctions and stuff like that. Well, this Thunderbird had a fucking system in it, and like anybody who's installed one in the hood, like you got to run the power cord from the fucking battery all the way back.
I installed one in my Volvo.
Exactly. So this shit, it hit a little bit. Anyway, I'm living in Dublin. I pull up, I get out, and I was like, "The fuck was that?" And I see a little bit of smoke, and I'm like, I'm starting to panic a little bit. Like, is this thing about to catch fire? I pop the hood and I open it, and right then it's starting to catch fire.
Oh.
I was like, oh shit. Just happened to have a fucking fire extinguisher and hit it, and it was good. And I called him. I was like, dude, I'm not even driving this car to you. I'm terrified. Like, come take this fucking system hoopty. Take this. Come get this car. I'm straight. I'll walk.
It's the funniest shit about the sound system craze of 1999 through 2001 is because the people who were the most into it were a bunch of fucking kids our age who were dabbling in electronics that were way above their pay grade.
Right.
Oh, no shit.
Right.
You know why? Because we were all, well, I don't know about you, but people were, how do I put this to not be weirdly incriminating?
Stuff was just falling off trucks and you were using it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I knew a guy who could always get you whatever the fuck you were looking for.
Yeah.
Back then.
But it's like things like I think about when I put the sound system in my Volvo, it was like I was 17 years old and me and my friends were drilling holes through the firewall.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And like putting these big, thick ass cables, like tapping them into the car electrical system.
Yeah.
Like, why was anybody trusting us with this shit?
Well, kids are still doing that. They're just doing it with two different things. They're either doing the little fucking Fast and the Furious cars, which you could equally fuck some shit up, or out near me, it's a lot of Jeeps and trucks with like the fucking whatever those like bright LED
Rows of
bars.
lights and shit,
Yeah. What's the deal with those?
I don't know.
I mean, they tend to have a Trump 2020 sticker.
All it is I spent a lot of goddamn money on accessories for my truck. That's all it is.
But it's a thing. Like,
Yeah,
it's a culture.
It's a status symbol and it's a culture. There's a magazine. I can't remember what it's called. I saw it when I was getting my tires rotated and one patched up at Discount Tire a couple weeks ago. Discount Tire since 19. I'm just kidding.
That's where I go.
But they had a magazine sitting there, and it's like from the makers of Dub magazine. You remember Dub?
Yeah.
magazine?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it's all like fucking guys who buy $60,000 trucks and then spend another $60,000 on lift kits and accessories and all that shit. Some of this stuff is so wild. These cars that are like, these like, you got like an F250 that's like 6 feet off the ground, and all of the suspension and all that shit is like chrome gold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild.
Chrome gold?
Like gold chrome.
What the fuck is gold chrome?
Like shiny gold coated shit. I don't know. It's a difference.
Metallic gold or metallic chrome. You can't be chrome gold. That's like, man, this shit looks so black red. You can't do that, Colin.
No, but there's like, okay, well, you got chrome, which is like shiny, like a mirror.
Yes.
Then you have like metallic silver. So this is the shiny mirror version of gold. What's that?
It's not chrome gold. Again, chrome
right,
is
well,
a
someone
color.
fucking correct me then.
What is it? I'm pretty sure it's just shiny chrome. It's like matte or shiny.
Yeah, but chrome is like, chrome's not a color.
The fuck it ain't.
It's coating your stuff with mirrors.
Bullshit. You were a fucking visual designer. And you were telling me that chrome is a chrome gold. Like I cannot get past this right now.
Somebody please.
Where's Duchamp when you need him? God damn it!
I am Switzerland here. I'm not.
I gotta say really quick, because we've said his name on the air quite a few times. Found out this week that it's Duchamp, and I've been saying it wrong now for 2 years.
You know what?
Sorry, my man.
I said VJ earlier. He still lets me call him VJ. His name is Vijay. Or Vija.
Is this the one that I know?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's Vija. I think it's pronounced Vija.
I apologized to Duchamp in person, and he was like, eh.
Yeah. He's like, that's the same thing with my guy. He's, fucking Vija. It's spelled Vijay.
Yeah.
And I was like, that shit says VJ.
That's VJ.
Yeah, no, it's Vija.
Wow.
And
or in Spanish, it says
I'm
VJ.
going to have to apologize to him next time I see him, too.
Yeah, so he
That
just...
was okay. I can say that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I get away with all that because my wife's 50% Mexican. Which, by the way, she ran 20 miles today.
Whoa,
Jesus
good
Christ.
job, Amy.
I mean, I already knew she could do that, but there was an actual race today. It aligned with her training because she's training for the full marathon.
Wow.
And so today was supposed to be like her 20-mile long run for training for the marathon, and she happened to find a race that was a 20-mile race.
That's great.
And she's like, well, fuck, I'll just sign up for that. It'll hold me accountable to stay on my training. So when it comes time for that. But then she came home today and was just like, she was walking like Ozzy Osbourne, and she had like the blisters on her feet and shit because she thought it'd be a good idea to buy brand new shoes and wear them for no less than 3 to 5 miles before wearing them on a 20-mile run today.
You know what I didn't do today? Run at all.
Right.
I didn't either.
Nope.
Me either.
My brother did a race did I talk about this last week?
I don't know.
This race he did. It's.
Oh wait. Yeah, you drink beer on it, right?
No. He said it was one of the hardest races he's ever done. It's up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. It's a 100-mile race.
Jesus.
And he and his buddies decided to do this special hard ass version, which is called the Out and Back, where the day before they start at the end and go to the beginning, and then do the race the next day. So it's 200 miles.
Is this running or biking?
Biking, mountain biking.
Okay. So
200 miles.
Oh my God.
I'm not.
But then he and his buddies decided to go extra hard ass and did the whole thing, all 200 miles on single speed bikes.
Oh
my
shit!
God.
He said
that's some Andrew shit.
He said, and my brother did a race in Iceland a couple months ago. He's done a 150-mile race in Finland. He said this is the hardest race he's ever done.
Oh
Okay,
God.
that's tight. When you said 100, I immediately thought he was running.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
me
no.
too.
Like,
Sorry.
well, I have a friend who he's a tattoo artist, and he's also, I think, a CrossFit instructor, and he also runs ultra marathons, which are like 50 miles.
Oh my God.
Well, he's run them barefoot before, like quite literally.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's definitely a fucking thing.
This isn't a trivial thing that bothers me, but those finger shoe things
Oh, absolutely.
are so
Those are
fucking
so
gross.
weird.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
disgusting.
So
I don't-
gross.
I don't trust anybody at the
No,
gym.
it's cool.
that
I
has
get
this.
it. I get the science. It makes sense to me. But like, you use them when you're running. Don't wear them. Don't wear them around
No,
because
hell
fuck
no.
you. That's so gross. I don't want to just picture each of your toes in this like
Yeah.
little slot. That's
Yes.
so gross. To
I
me.
don't fuck with people that wear toe socks either. I'm straight on that. You know that?
Toe socks?
Yeah, it's a sock, but it
Oh
has,
yeah, ew, gross.
yeah,
Sick.
like fuck that.
Ugh.
That's weirdo shit.
Now toe socks in slides. I'm just kidding.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't rock slides.
Let's do
dude.
Ohio versus Florida.
Well, but I don't have anything cute.
Oh, you don't?
I've
No.
got the trivial things that bother us.
Yeah, we can see. We can do. Why?
fine.
Did you have some Ohio, Florida shit?
No, I just thought you had it lined up.
So I read several things, and I said, "Fuck, I need to write that down. That's a good one." And then I didn't. If I had my phone, it wasn't up here recording the episode. I know for a fact that Amy actually texted me 3 or 4 of them. She's like, "Holy shit, look at this! Holy shit, look at this!" So I have some good shit on there. I just didn't move
That
it.
camel thing was brought up on the weekend update on the premiere of SNL last night.
Really?
They made a joke about it.
Well, it was very fresh when I brought it here. Anyway, trivial things that bother. And let's start with our guest. Hold on. Which, by the way, let's just say that this is monumental because this not only shows one, you're not a guy, right?
Right.
I
am your first female
and
guest,
you
right?
don't identify as a guy.
No.
Either.
No.
And you're not a dad.
Right.
So this goes against Heckin' Cool Dads, which is great
It
because
shows your diversity.
that's what I'm saying. We have our first female guest, and we would like to welcome more females. Please.
This is
Sounds like
fun.
someone's gearing up to
They
turn some
are.
amps on
They
too,
are.
so it's probably good.
This is good stuff. So we'll start with you.
All right. So I do have a YouTube channel. And one of the things I swore to myself was that I would not fall into my own pet peeves. One of my pet peeves, the thing that bothers me the most, is bad YouTuber habits. People that start every single video with, "Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm so excited about today's video." It's like, bitch, we know you're excited, or else
Yeah.
you wouldn't make this
You
damn
wouldn't make
video.
it, yeah.
So that is just, it's so trivial, but man, it bugs the shit out of me.
I actually yesterday had a deal with my boys, not a deal, but I laid the law down and I said, "Hey guys, you used to watch shows. You used to watch like Gravity Falls. You used to watch cartoons. You used to watch interesting things. I'm getting really, really sick of all day, every day hearing some guy being like, oh, pound that like button, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm playing Minecraft today. Yeah.
Smash that bell.
Jesus
Smash that like
Christ,
button.
get the fuck out of here. Watch it sometimes, but not all the time, please.
Yes,
But yes,
exactly.
I hate that.
Yeah, I swore to myself if I ever
Yeah.
say that, I'm editing that out because I can't.
Nice.
I can't fall into that category.
So do you actually did you put some out with that, or did you edit it out?
No, I have never done that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very aware of how I start my videos to make sure that I don't start with, "Hey guys."
I saw you or I heard you use a phrase earlier. You said, "There you go," and I've called myself out on that. I would fucking say that at least once an episode to Colin. He'll say something, I go, "There you go," and then I'll start some other topic. And man, I have made a conscious effort to not say, There you go.
You know, there's another one that's become very, very popular. When somebody's doing a tutorial, whether it's cooking or crafting or something like that.
Do they put their hand up?
No.
Put the product in front of it?
That happens all the time, actually.
So that the camera can focus?
Though.
It's so the camera can focus or something, but they like, let's say it's a makeup tutorial, they hold the thing up and they put their hand over it, and then the camera focuses and then they take it away.
Yeah. I think that's out of necessity though. So it doesn't really bother me.
Fuck it, get a better
But the
camera.
thing that bothers me, this thing that everybody's saying, you're going to go ahead and do something. Like you're going to go ahead and dump in the flour and then you're going to go ahead and stir it. It's like, I don't need your permission. How about you just dump in the flour and stir it?
I like
it's go ahead everything.
I've said this before, but it's relevant. When I set Hayden up to record his first video, and like I hit record and I start leaving, he turns around and he goes, "Hey, is it recording?" And I go, "Yeah, it is." And he goes, "What's up, slashers? Hayden here." And I fucking lost it. I am not ever deleting that video because it's the fucking cutest
hilarious.
thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
I have to say something real quick. He was logged into my computer the other day because he was like trying to figure out how to bring up Fortnite and play on the computer and shit. But he goes to YouTube and he signs himself in YouTube on there. And if you haven't done this, you should do this. I went to his YouTube and I looked at like, what are my search terms? What have I commented on? And I was just looking at some of the shit that he's like commented on, and it's so cute. I was like gushing with love, like looking at it, because he was looking up like I showed him pancake art. Have you guys ever seen that?
Yeah, that's
I
great.
showed him some pancake art. He went and searched for some and left a comment, was like, "Good work, love what you did."
Aww.
And like, "Great job, keep up the good work."
At least
like,
he's not like, "Kill yourself, bitch."
No, dude. If I was fully prepared to see something like, "Wieners are funny." You're a turd. You know, I was expecting like, I don't know, some kind of mean kid shit. I don't know. I wasn't actually expecting that. I was fearing that, I should say.
Yeah.
Because I'm never expecting that from him. But like all kinds of cool shit. And he would comment on people's shit of like YouTubers I know he watches that he really like idolizes. And he would say, "I love this video. Please play more, Cuphead. Please respond." Things like that. And I could see like it's the equivalent of when I used to go to like concerts back in the day.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like, "Oh man, I hope he's at the merch table."
So I could just be like, "That was so good."
I just want to tell him I fucking loved what he was doing. And that's the equivalent of what he's doing.
Also, fuck Cuphead.
You don't fuck with Cuphead?
No, I fuck with it.
Oh.
But it is legitimately might be the hardest game I've ever played.
Really?
Well, that explains why there were 900 tutorial searches. How do I beat this part? How do I beat this part?
It is amazing. Ooh. It's all like the graphics are all old timey animation.
Yeah, it looks like an old Popeye.
It's like a Popeye cartoon.
Yeah.
That you're playing, and it's amazing. It's an amazing game. But my God, it is easily the hardest game I've ever played in my life.
Wow.
I gave up. I was like a third of the way through it, and I gave up.
So
anyway,
before we go, I'm going to ask you. So you start thinking about your trivial thing.
I've got one.
And before I ask you, I just want to say one other little thing. It was a realization I had the other day, and that is the way that every kid seems to want to be a YouTube game playthrough person. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to see every person on IG thinks they're an influencer.
Right.
And like, I just like all my friends' photos are just starting to look like they run a travel blog on the side, or they are some fucking, I don't know. It's crazy. And meanwhile, my shit's just like point and shoot camera, look at my daughter do something awesome. Like I'm using mine, like you talked about before. It's like our scrapbook. It's a digital scrapbook.
Yeah.
And then, but a lot of my friends are all shifting, and I'm like, damn, adults want to be influencers the way that kids want to be YouTube gamers.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. What's the trivial thing, Colin?
This might be too trivial.
There's nothing too trivial for this.
Go for
it. Cardi B's mouth sounds in that press song.
I don't even know what they are.
You heard that song like press, 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 press. Cardi don't need more press.
Oh, yeah.
There's she got her teeth fixed. Like she got all fake shit.
Yeah.
And I think that she's just not. I think the mic she was using and the fact that she's got new mouth.
Oh wow!
It's like there's a lot of
fact that she's got a new mouth.
There's a lot of
in
that song, and it fucking I have to turn it off on the radio. I don't like it. I don't like how her vocals sound in that song, and it is that is so petty. It is so petty. But because I think the song's got a great beat,
you know
I think her flow's good and all that stuff. But no,
but
I can't
agree
do it.
with you.
I can't do it.
It's not trivial.
Really
I agree with you.
That is super trivial. I mean, man, you guys both had good ones. Mine was just that right now, our dog will not stop barking.
Oh,
It's reached a level that I would never hurt an animal, but when it starts happening, I feel like I look at it and flames start coming out of my eyes, and I'm prepared to punt this fucking dog like it's a kickoff of a football game. I lunge after the dog to try and grab the dog just because I want to pick her up and be like, shut the fuck up. In her ear. You know what I'm saying? Real close. No one else needs to know, but I'm about to fucking kill you. And I'm trying to let that dog know I'm serious. So we got what the fuck is the term for it? A static correction collar. I think it's a shot collar.
Yeah. I think they call those bark collars, though.
It's a bark collar. It is a bark collar. It beeps.
But it's exactly the same concept.
She starts barking. She gets 3 in. It's like beep, beep. And she's, it's only been on there for we'll do an hour a day type shit. When we just need the dog to chill the fuck out.
Yes.
Right. So I want to say trivial thing. I love animals, don't get me wrong. And I can deal with kids raging and being loud. I've never been exposed to a dog in my, in my vicinity regularly. That's a barky dog.
Mm-hmm.
And that dog is a fucking barky dog. And again, not going to hurt an animal, but when she starts her barking, I can visualize myself punting her out the window.
Made me think of this joke. I was watching, the comedian Pete Holmes has a stand-up special on HBO called Dirty Clean. I was watching it on the plane on Friday night on the way back from Atlanta, and funny enough, because it's I'm on a plane with headphones, and I was trying so hard not to laugh out loud because I was just dying. Because it's the second time I've seen this bit, and I thought it was so funny. But he was talking about having a baby, and he's talking about how when you're in hospital, they all make you watch, they all tell you not to shake the baby. They make you watch videos about shaken baby syndrome and all this stuff. And he goes, it just seems so weird. But what they don't tell you is you're going to want to shake the baby.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly how it is. Well, we put that static collar on her, and it'll go beep, beep. Okay, so we first put her on her, 10 seconds after it was on, she's barking. About the third bark in, dude, she fucking jumps.
Ooh.
Whoa! What the fuck was that? And she stops for a minute. And then I was like, I see you getting it now. And she starts to bark a little more, and it goes beep, beep. And she's like, now when she gets we can put it on. And so, again, it's only been a day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it was an hour yesterday, an hour today. She barks twice. It goes beep. She's like,
perfect. That's exactly what it's supposed to do.
Right?
But I was hoping that there was a controller for it. That's what I wanted, because in my mind, I was going to do that, the gangster gun hold where you hold the gun to the side. I was going to do that and go, and if she barked, I'd zap her, right? And then eventually, in my mind, I was going to be able to hold the gun to the side,
Jeff.
And the dog would just shut up. I wanted to train her.
You wanted to be the guy that's got a party trick to be watch this shit.
Yeah, because again, when I used to ride dirt bikes, there was a guy that he would change it all the time, but he'd say, "Oh, would you rather be a dead dog or a rollerblader?" And the dog would play dead. Or would you rather be a dead dog or a something? And he had trained it to where if he said, "Would you rather be a dead dog or this?" the dog would play dead every time. And I was like, "Oh, that's fucking hilarious." I just wanted that trick where I held my gun sideways at the dog and the dog shut up. I wanted that to be my party trick. The same way that I do it with my kids too. I go, "Hey, Eloise." I just put it on my Instagram. "Hey, do your metal voice." And she goes, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." I love shit like that.
Yeah.
So that's that. I think we got through trivial things. We successfully made it through. We're not going to get Me Too'd. High five, Beth.
Yeah.
We're all good. We had a female guest, so more female guests. More guests in general. I would love to have a guest every time because I enjoy getting to know people that I've known for a really long time. You get to learn things about them. I've said that several times. With that being said, I think we're out of here.
Episode 25.
Episode 25. Bye, guys.